Hello and welcome back for our final segment of Cox Community Connections. Thank you so much for staying tuned through the break and joining us as we talk about the Pensacola Symphony Orchestra. And joining me now to talk about that is their music director, Peter Rubardt. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Cam.
So let's talk about the orchestra overall. Let's talk about kind of the mission and what you guys are all about. Can you give us a little background of the orchestra and what y'all kind of give back to the community?
The Pensacola Symphony is in our 88th season,
Wow.
one of the oldest orchestras in the South. And I think we've been able to survive that long because the community of Pensacola has been so receptive for what we've done for so many years. It's really been a wonderful relationship that we have here. There's two main parts to our mission. We play a lot of concerts. We bring concerts to the community of Pensacola. The Sanger Theater, of course, is our home, a marvelous historic theater, but we also play other venues. We play out at the beach, at the Arts Festival. We play in some of the schools. We play all around town. The second part of our mission is education, because we really are trying to nurture the art of classical music for future generations as well as the current generation. So we're involved in exposure programs through the community schools, through the school district, as well as working with actual hands-on teaching programs and things like that to train the orchestra musicians of the future and the audience members of the future.
Yeah, it's great. It's so important nowadays, and you hear so much about with the budget cuts and music being taken out of the schools. That's wonderful that y'all are able to give back to the schools and give back to the kids, so you can, you know, share the music and share that with them. What kind of response do y'all get from the kids when you come out there and show them these instruments and the sounds that they make?
The youth concerts are so fun. We just finished them a couple weeks ago. We play for every fifth grader in both counties. And they come to the Sanger Theater, and for many of them, it's the first time they've been in the Sanger Theater. And the place is packed, and they're just going wild. But it's so that they're so attentive, and they'll just sit on the edge of their seats, you know, and it's interesting, they like the quiet pieces more than the loud pieces. They'll get really quiet. But they pay great attention to all the instruments and all the things that we show them, and it's really a lot of fun for us to do those.
And as music director, I think there might be the misconception, you just get up there on performance night and, you know, you just do your thing and all the great music comes out, but there's probably a little bit more that goes into it than that. Tell us a little bit about your role and everything you have to do.
Well, I know, I think a lot of people look at me and go, oh, come on, how hard can it be? I mean, really, you just wave a stick around and you get paid for that. It's very hard, and I have a lot of training. I have decades of training and decades of experience. Waving the stick is part of what we do, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing the music, learning the scores, understanding what kinds of adjustments need to be made to make the music work. A lot of work into managing the personnel of the orchestra, auditions, planning repertoire, marking parts, bowings. The orchestra is very professional. A lot of concerts are first rehearsals the day before the concert, sometimes even the day of the concert. So there's a lot of advance work that has to come into place for all those pieces to fall together like that.
And I know y'all are doing a lot of the advanced work now, hoping the pieces will fall together as you start off.
Oh, we're not hoping.
We're not hoping.
We're professionals. They will fall together.
Absolutely. But I know y'all have had one show already, and y'all have another one coming up soon. But the big shows start, or you really get busy, I should say, around New Year's and the first part of 2014.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the New Year's Eve event.
New Year's is fun. We've been doing this for 15 years now. And first thing to understand on our New Year's concert, we start at 7 o'clock. And we're over by about 9. So that means it's easy to come to the Sanger Theater. Parking is easy. The huge crowds aren't there yet. You can come and enjoy the concert, have a wonderful New Year's experience, and then go out to dinner afterwards if you want, or join the crowds at Seville Square or at Plaza de Luna afterwards, or just go home and go to bed early, which is, of course, what a lot of our audience is happy to do. Chris Vidala will be here this New Year's Eve, a fantastic saxophone player that comes out of Washington, D.C., one of the leading saxophonists in the world. He toured for years with Chuck Mangione, and we'll be bringing some of Chuck's charts with him, as well as music by Duke Ellington and Dizzy Gillespie, some old jazz favorites, some orchestra showcases on the program, Gershwin tunes, Cuban Overture of Gershwin, just a lot of really fun, lively stuff. It's a very festive occasion, always a great audience for it, always a good time.
Yeah, it's a great way to ring in the new year.
It really is. We have a lot of people that just do that every New Year's Eve, we go to the symphony.
It's their tradition for
New
Year's.
Time. Yeah.
And then, of course, about 2 weeks later, you turn that around with Family Night, another great educational opportunity for you guys. I know. Tell us a little bit about the Family Night and how people can get involved with that one.
It's actually an afternoon for the families.
Okay.
It's Saturday, January 11th in the afternoon. It starts, I think, at 1 o'clock, and the lobby is open. All the orchestra musicians are out in the lobby with their instruments. It's an opportunity for kids to actually try to play some instruments. There's different booths. We partner with other organizations around town for some educational activities, drawing, science exhibits, things like that. And then at 2 o'clock, everybody comes into the hall, and we have a performance by the Pensacola Symphony that plays some of the same music that we'll be playing at the concert that night. Trumpet player Ryan Anthony will be with us. Phenomenal trumpet player will be here that afternoon. And it's really a great all-around activity for kids to get a lot of exposure, a lot of education, and also enjoy a performance.
And then real quick, I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about the Mozart event you have coming up.
Mozart's birthday. Comes at the end of January. We're actually playing this concert on Saturday, February 1st. And here we play at First United Methodist Church. Okay. And what I like about this concert is it's so easy for anybody to go to it. Tickets are $10. Full professional orchestra, $10 ticket, general seating, and it starts at 7 o'clock. If you want, you can sit in the front row for the professional orchestra for $10. And the concert starts at 7, it's no intermission, and so if you want to listen to the concert and then hook up with your friends afterwards, go out to dinner, things like that, it's very easy to have an introduction to the symphony through this concert that celebrates Mozart.
And then if anybody wants tickets to any of these, they can go down to the Sanger Box office and get tickets to all of your performances?
Or online. PensacolaSymphony.com is probably the easiest place, or call the Symphony office at 435-2533.
All right, great. Peter, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being our guest.
Thanks for having us, Cam.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Cox Community Connection. Join us next month as we look at more organizations and events in Okaloosa and Escambia counties.
Thanks for watching the Cox Community Connection. Join us next month when we highlight other organizations, events, and people from around our local community.